old man with a beard that likes little girls. It just didn't make sense to me.
Go down on the low, down on the low. Make it do I'm on the low, make it do I'm on the low. Baby, no one has to know, baby, no one has to know. Baby, my body wo, baby, my body wo.
My hands are ashy. What's up everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. So as you already know by the title, I have a little something different today. It's gonna be really hard for me because it's hard for me to do my makeup and talk at the same time, but I'm going to try. Yeah, so pretty much I'm gonna talk about something that I haven't really talked about openly, but I just feel like it is something that should be addressed. Pretty much I'll be doing my makeup at the same time, so you guys just bear with me because I'm one of those people that can't do their makeup while talking. It's gonna be really hard, but I'm gonna try. And also, as you can see, there's a lot of lightning coming from this side because I film with natural light and the sun is just going up because it's like I think 9 in the morning or something. So yeah, you guys just bear with me. So let's get into the video. As you already know by the title, it is a very serious topic. I don't think people talk on it too much, and I feel like it is important to speak on it because the more people speak on it, the more girls or little boys could be saved. You know, this issue could be prevented. By the way, I'm using the Milk Primer, Hydro Grip Primer. It's very good for dry skin. Ooh, I'm already out of breath. I did my brows off camera already, so if you'd like to see how I do my brows, just check out my video. I already uploaded a video on doing my brows, and I also laid my wig already. If you'd like to see how I lay my wig, I can definitely show you. Just let me know in the comments. But I pretty much just used the got2b hairspray. I'm really sorry, my camera just switched off, but basically I just put on my foundation off camera. I just put on the Juvias Place stick foundation in the shade Congo, and I use, where is it? The NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop full coverage foundation in the shade 61. So I was basically just explaining all to myself. As I mentioned in my video, my last video, I was born and raised in Germany. We just lived a normal life. Basically, it's just been me, my mom, my dad, and my brother, and we are Muslims. I am Gambian, so the majority of Gambia, they are Muslims. It was always really important to my dad for us to know about our deen. So we would always like pray together and celebrate all Muslim holidays together and all of that. You know, it was always very important to him. We would always pray together like 5 times a day, even unless like, you know, we were not together at all hours. Of course, I was going to school, my dad was working, my mom was working, but the times that we were together, we were praying together. So basically, excuse me, for us to learn more about our deen, my dad sent us to Arabic, or let's just say a Quran school, because it was not Arabic people that were teaching over there. Well, it was kind of like, it was just, let's just say it was an international school because it was a lot of people from everywhere. There were students from Pakistan and Bangladesh, and then there was people from Lebanon and all of that stuff. So, and then there was black people like me and my brother, and I had a friend also that was there. So basically, yeah, it was a very multicultural Quran school. So we would go there like every Sunday. I was going to school from Monday to Friday. So I think I started going. I wasn't in school, as I already said. I think I was 6 years old when I started going. Or was it 5? I was very young though when I started going. I'm not sure. So yeah, we would go there, and it was pretty fun though because it was a lot of kids. It was just like school, but it was a little different than normal school. I had my camera set so perfect before it had to just switch off. Nonsense. Anyway, so it was fun. You know, it wasn't like normal school because Obviously in school you sit on tables, and would like sit on the floors. There was a room for girls and for boys, and every day my dad would drop us off and pick us up. Most of the time though, sometimes we would just take the train, but most of the time he would just drop us off and pick us up. Basically, thinking back now, I really enjoyed the time there because it was just fun with all the kids and the playing. There was a playground across the street, so it was really fun. I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed school. Yeah, so pretty much we had a playground across the street, and then downstairs was like a little shop where we would go on our breaks and get food, or yeah, just get snacks and whatever, and we would just hang out there a lot. So keep in mind, I think there was more girls. No, there was more boys than girls, and it was from every age range. Like, I don't quite remember, but there was like girls that were I don't think they were older than the puberty age, like, you know, when you hit puberty. So I think it stopped like maybe at 12 or 13 if I'm not mistaken, but they were not too old. So as I said, there was this little shop down there, and then there was this man who was running the shop. I'm not going to say his name. Let's just call him Alex. So pretty much Alex was running the shop, and all the kids loved him. Like, I loved him with all my heart. He was so great. And he was also friends with my father. So like, I really liked him. And so did all the other kids, you know. So, but then there was just something. He wasn't a teacher though. He wasn't teaching the Al-Quran. He was just, well, sometimes he would, but most of the time he was just in his shop selling food. I never really realized that there was something odd about him because, you know, the innocence of a child. They're like, I couldn't imagine why he would hurt any one of us, or why he would even try to touch any one of us, because you don't discover sexuality at 4 or 5. You just don't do that, right? So I mean, back then, I don't know about now, but back then, you know. So my mind never even went there until there was one girl. She was older. I think she was, I don't know how much older she was, but I think she was like 11, something like that. I don't know, but she was much older. And then she was like, she came up to me, and one thing I must say about myself, and that I still hear people telling me, is that I was a very woke child. Like, I was just not like kids my age, let's just say. So she would like come up to me and she was like, did you realize that Alex is a little bit too close to you and other kids? And I was like, no, what are you talking about? And she used the word in German, and I didn't understand what that word meant. Actually, I didn't understand what it meant until I asked somebody. I don't remember who I asked, but that person told me, yeah. Whew, I've been blending forever. And then that person told me it means touching in an inappropriate way, basically. So I started paying attention to that, and I would see him going into his little shop with little girls alone and locking the door and all of that. But I never got what was going on. Oh, hold on. I used, where is it? The Too Faced concealer, Bonus Wave concealer in the shade Sable. And before I used that one, I used the LA Girl Pro concealer in the shade Dark Cocoa. And now I'm using the Juvias Place I Am Magic concealer in the shade 10. Yeah, shade 10. I'm just gonna blend that out a little more and then let the corner sit a little bit before I start blending it out completely. I would see that he would like just take little girls into his little shop, but I wasn't really thinking anything of it because we all went to the shop. Like, we all went to buy food and all of that, or just hang out during our break, you know. So I had a friend that was with me at that school. She later on moved away, but we were there together. And I remember talking to her about it. I'm not sure if she still remembers because now we are in contact, but we did lose contact for some time because, as I said, she moved away and we were babies then. So there was no such thing as WhatsApp or whatsoever for us to stay in contact. But as soon as we started getting into social media, that's when we found contact again. And she is back now, but we have never really spoken on it anymore apart from then. I might ask her again and you know, ask her if she remembers. But yeah, I was telling her, do you know that that big girl came up to me and told me that he is touching girls in an inappropriate way? And my friend was like, she was a little older than me though. I think like a year or two. She was a little older than me. And she goes, yeah, I know. He's very inappropriate and all of that, you know, but it was just not. I just loved him so much. I just thought he was so cool, and he was though. Like, he was so funny always, and sometimes he would like make me something to eat if I forgot my food at home or whatever. And even if I had money, he would just not really take money from us. He was just so cool, you know. And as I said, like, my dad really liked him too, so I could never really imagine him trying to harm anybody of us. But then there was this one incident that I haven't really told my parents or any of my family members. There are some people that know that I told, but I haven't really told my family. There was one incident where I was late for class, and that day my brother was not around. I'm not sure where he was, but basically I came. I was in a rush, so I came and I was running, you know, taking my shoes off, because those that know, you don't wear shoes going into a mosque. So I ran up the stairs and I'm taking off my shoes, and then when you like, the place where you take off your shoes and the toilet is like right next to each other, so you basically have to pass the toilet to get to the classrooms. I was there taking off my shoes in a rush, and then there comes Alex out of the toilet, and he's holding my hand. Like, he was holding my arm, trying to pull me into the toilet. And I don't remember what he said, but I think he said, I have to show you something. I have to show you something. And I was like, no, I'm late. I don't want that. I'm late. Thinking back now, I know that he actually tried something. But then I had no clue. So I didn't tell my parents because I didn't feel like it's important. You know, I didn't get it. I didn't get it, not because I was stupid, but just because, you know, as I said, the innocence of a child. I don't know. Now thinking about it, thinking back, I'm just like, I am so blessed that I did not go with him, because I could, who knows if I would still be here if I had went with him. It's just so sad. It's just so sad, because I really liked him, and everybody really liked him. That's what it seemed like to me. I'm not sure how it is now. As I said, I haven't talked to anybody afterwards. I'm not really in contact with anybody from that school, because we did not stay there. We did end up going somewhere else. The day I realized that there was something wrong with him is the day, so this is years later, okay? This is years later when my dad came up to me. We already had transferred schools. We already went to another Quran school, but it wasn't because of the incident, because as I said, I haven't told anybody. I'm not quite sure why we ended up changing schools. I think my brother and I just didn't like the place anymore. But anyways, we ended up transferring schools. And then I remember one day my dad telling me they caught Alex raping a girl in his shop, and they kicked him out. And I was just like, oh my God. My heart dropped when my dad told me that. I didn't really say anything. Maybe that would have been the right time to tell my dad, but he was in disbelief. So I thought, you know what, nah. This was years ago. Let me not even mention it, you know. And I think that's where I went wrong. I should have said something the moment I realized that, okay, there's something awfully wrong with that man. But I didn't, and that's why it's so important for victims and just people generally to speak out, because who knows, if I had said something, maybe that girl wouldn't have to go through that. Maybe now she wouldn't, because I remember my dad telling me that that girl, she was so traumatized that she was not able to go to school anymore and all of that. She would just wake up sometimes in the morning and be super traumatized. I feel so bad because I remember what girl it was. She was a very, very pretty girl. I always said that she was very, very pretty. I just started feeling so bad. I remember not sleeping that night because I was literally blaming myself for not saying anything. I feel like I should have said something. If I would have said something, maybe it could have been avoided. Ever since then, I started Googling about old men that like young girls, because he was old man with a beard that likes little girls. It just didn't make sense to me. I was shocked. And I guess that's when I realized how ugly the world is that we're living in, how messed up the world is that we're living in. If a grown man, he was married, he had grown kids, someone like that would just have a thing for little girls, you know. So I started researching about pedophilism and all of that stuff. I do remember seeing him again, but this was before my dad told me about what he did, basically. Maybe, I think it was even before he was caught. It was this one time I was out. I think I was with my brother. We were out and then we saw him. I did feel some type of way about him because I was older then, and I was like, that guy is a little inappropriate, so I wasn't too happy to meet him. There was this other time, this was not even too long ago, when I went to the UK 2016, and my dad took me to the airport. Oh, I just used the Laura Mercier setting powder to set my face, and I just dusted it off with the Born This Way powder in the shade Ganache. Now I'm just using the Juvias Place palette as a blush. We were on a train, and there he comes. I wasn't sure how to feel, since now I am older and I do understand what he did was completely wrong, and I did research about that sickness. I do call it a sickness. That's what a lot of people don't really get. There is a lot of help institutions for people like that. There are actually online dating pages with women that have children, and that's where pedophiles like that go to just to get to their kids, you know. And reading all of that is just, it's scary as hell. Like, by the way, I'm just going for a simple look because I don't know, I don't feel like something colorful today. I'm using the Juvias Place chocolate palette. So yeah, as I was saying, there is actually men that go online looking for moms with children just to get to their children. And that's what I feel like, that's the thing you do by choice. Because there are pedophiles that go out looking for help before they hurt somebody because they know that it's wrong. But then there's pedophiles that will go ahead and look for kids actively. I was watching some cases on people that are in prison because of just sex predators. And I was really, really angry about this one case. I think it was America. It was a case in America where a child predator basically has been raping little kids for a very long time. But he was only in prison for like 3-4 years, and then he came out again. And guess why? He was supposed to be in prison for 10 years, but they let him go after 4 years. And they said they let him go because of good behavior. Obviously, he's behaving good because there ain't no little kids in the prison to rape. Things like that just really, really piss me off. It's really, really dangerous, and it's really, really sad in the world that we're living in. And especially a place, as a parent, I can't imagine what that little girl's parents were feeling, because as a parent, you send your kid to a mosque for them to learn about their deen, you know, thinking the mosque is the safest place in the world, and then you send your little kid there and they end up getting raped, you know. As I said, I haven't really told my parents about this. They will watch this video though. So I'm gonna line my eyes and put on my lashes off camera, and then I'll be right back. All right. So I just did my eyes off camera. I just put on some lashes and I lined excuse me, and I just lined my eyes. My voice is going, y'all. Anyways, I think I was saying that there's men that look for women that have kids and then just to get with their children. But let's not forget that there's also female pedophiles. There's not only just male pedophiles, but there's also female pedophiles. You just don't see it that often, but it actually happens. So as a parent, you send your child to a mosque, and that's the last place you would think something would happen to your child. And I was just so angry at Alex, because you don't do that nowhere, but it's like you don't do that anywhere. It doesn't matter, but especially in a mosque, God's house. It doesn't matter if it's in a mosque or a church or whatever. You don't do that in God's house. There's a lot of Christian leaders. Oh, sorry, let me just say religious leaders, whether it's Christian, Muslim, Jewish, that use their position just to harm little kids. And I feel like that's the most disgusting thing you can do to somebody. I mean, that little girl's life must be, I would really like to know how she's doing. I would really like to know how she's doing, but I don't remember her name, so I can't look for her on social media. But I would really like to know how she dealt with all of that. The guilt that I feel, you guys can't even imagine, because I think about it almost every day, basically. I really think about it a lot, because I'm always like, maybe if I would have said something, I could have made a change. Maybe I could have prevented this from happening. And that's why people, as I said earlier, it's so important. If you see something, speak. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you see something, just speak out. If it doesn't seem right to you, just speak out. Because I wish I had done that, but I did. So now I just gotta live with that feeling of guilt for the rest of my life. Blaming myself. Oh, I forgot to put on my highlighter. I normally set my face, then I put on my highlighter, and then I do my lips. Not too late. I normally use the Urban Decay all-nighter setting spray, and then this Hydrating Mist by e.l.f. Yeah, I'm using the Juvias Place. As you can tell, I really like Juvias Place. It's so pigmented. It's like a loose highlighter. Yep, that's too much. I'm highlighting my pimple. I'm sorry I didn't talk doing that. As I said, it's so hard for me to like talk and do my makeup, but I think I did pretty well. As I said, if you see something, speak, because you might save a life. You never know. You might save a life. And I really also alert those people who do that. If you realize that you have a problem, and you realize you have certain feelings for kids that you should not be having, please look for help before you ruin somebody's life. Because children are innocent, man. They should really be able to remain that for as long as they want to. So in this bottle I have, what do I have in here? Some conditioner and water, and I'm just gonna spray my wig. I guess this is the finished look, you guys. How do you like it? I really like it. I know a lot are gonna say that my lashes are too long. I like it like this. I like long lashes. I'm just not used to like shorter lashes anymore for some reason. Before I end this video, I would just like to say, if you feel like you have certain feelings for kids that you shouldn't be having and feel like they are wrong, please make sure that you get help. There's enough places to go to get help, and you should definitely go ahead and do that before you just take somebody's childhood like that. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends about my channel. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.
Down on the low, do I'm on the low, make it do I'm on the low. Baby, no one has to know, baby, no one has to know. Baby, my body,